Some people don't feel lost because they don't know where to go. They feel lost because they see too many paths at once. They wake up every day with the quiet feeling that life should be moving, but somehow it isn't. Not because they're lazy, not because they don't care, but because choosing one direction feels like closing the door on all the others. There's a kind of fear that doesn't look like fear at all. It looks like thinking, planning, waiting for certainty, waiting for the perfect moment, waiting for a sign that never really comes. And this is the story of someone who waited, not because he was afraid to move, but because he was afraid to move the wrong way. If this feeling sounds familiar to you, stay with me. And if stories like this help you reflect, you might want to subscribe. These stories are for people who think deeply, sometimes too deeply. He was an old man when he finally understood what had been holding him back. Not failure, not lack of talent, not bad luck. It was choice. When he was young, he believed life worked like a puzzle, that if he thought long enough, planned carefully enough, the right piece would eventually reveal itself. So he observed, he compared, he waited. While others tried things and failed loudly, he stayed quiet, telling himself he was being smart. He watched his friends choose careers, relationships, cities. Some choices worked, some didn't. And every time someone failed, he felt relief. See, he would think, justifying his inner stillness. But time has a way of passing whether you move or not. Years went by. Opportunities didn't disappear. They simply stopped waiting. Whenever a decision appeared, his mind asked the same question. What if this isn't the right one? So he gathered more information, asked more opinions, imagined every possible outcome. And somehow doing nothing always felt safer than choosing imperfectly. He told himself he was being careful, but deep down he was trying to protect an image of himself, the version that had never failed. Because once you choose, you risk being wrong. And once you're wrong, you have to live with it. So he stayed still. And life, politely at first, then quietly, moved around him. One evening, many years later, he sat alone, watching the sun lower itself behind buildings he did not recognize. And a strange realization surfaced. The most painful moments of his life were not the things he tried and failed at. They were the things he never touched, the conversations he postponed, the places he almost moved to, the paths he stood at and turned away from, not because they were wrong, but because they were uncertain. He finally understood something no one had ever told him. You don't avoid regret by choosing carefully. You avoid it by choosing at all. Because even wrong choices teach you how to move, but no choice teaches you how to stand still. He realized that certainty is not something that comes before action. It comes from it. And the irony was cruel but clear. By trying to avoid the pain of being wrong, he had chosen a different pain, the pain of never knowing who he could have become. That night, he didn't promise himself a new life. He didn't make dramatic resolutions. He simply accepted one quiet truth. Life doesn't punish you for choosing badly. It punishes you for refusing to choose. If you're waiting for clarity before moving forward, you might be waiting for something that only movement can give you. The path doesn't appear once you're ready. You become ready by walking. And sometimes the bravest decision isn't choosing the right path, it's choosing any path and trusting yourself enough to adjust along the way. And maybe this story felt familiar to you. Maybe you've been standing in front of choices for a long time, telling yourself you just need more clarity, more confidence, or one perfect sign. If this story made you pause and reflect, take that as a sign in itself. And if you're still here, It means a part of you is ready to move, even if you don't feel completely prepared yet. If this story resonated with you, consider subscribing to the channel. Like the video if it helped you think differently, and share it with someone who might need to hear this today. There are more stories here. Stories meant to slow you down, make you reflect, and help you see life from a clearer perspective. You don't have to rush, just don't stay frozen. Thank you for being here.